Ladies and gentlemen, here we go, another episode of Universe Mode and Velocity Smackdown Week 20 pre-show. I'm actually pretty excited for this because I rarely am ever excited for pre-show matches, but I actually will care about this. As ladies and gentlemen, here tonight, pre-show for Velocity, well, the Velocity pre-show before Smackdown. One half of Beer Money Incorporated, James Storm, he takes on the cruiserweight champion of Smackdown, Seth Rollins. This should be hopefully a good matchup. Hopefully the CPU can pull off something good with these two, because in real life this matchup will be absolutely amazing. So yeah, can the CPU do something good with itself here? Hopefully. Ladies and gentlemen, Seth Rollins, to be fair, the most dominant man on SmackDown, I think. I would like to think either him or Dolph Ziggler, because Rollins won the title back in like week 9, if the statistics are correct, which I don't have any of the notebook that has the statistics. But yeah, I believe Rollins won the Cruiserweight title back in week 9 in the Cruiserweight tournament. Of course, 8-man tournament. I believe he won the tournament. Well, of course he did. He won it back in week 9 in the finals against Kofi Kingston. And Rollins has not lost one single matchup since then, whether it was non-title or whether it was for the title. He has not lost. He has defeated many superstars. He has defeated John Cena before. He's also defeated. Why can I only name John Cena? Because he has successfully defended his Cruiserweight Championship against Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne was the first ever challenger for the title. So Rollins, he's pretty dominant, and well, James Storm and Bobby Roode / Robert Roode, same person, different name really. For the Beer Money Incorporated tag team, they've mostly been singles competitors. Now that I think about it. And they haven't really been all that important to the SmackDown Tag Team division. They just need to get that one major spotlight thing. They just need to get that one major exposure, and then they could most definitely be, I guess, contenders for SmackDown Tag Titles one day. But yeah, anyway, going on to the matchup, Rollins, of course. I believe Rollins is actually undefeated, because remember, well, he's been undefeated for a long time. Of course, he did have a rivalry with Kota Ibushi in the beginning of Universe Mode. He did get the last laugh against Ibushi, but Ibushi, when it all counted, did win at the pay-per-view back then, which was a while back. Anyway, now in the ring apron here, Rollins wearing down James Storm with an ankle lock. Of course, if Storm is to defeat Seth Rollins, since James Storm is not cruiserweight ranked, or at least, close to it, because neither is Rollins. Rollins is like 217 pounds, but, we can still make Rollins cruiserweight, doesn't matter. Same like we can do it for AJ Styles, but AJ Styles is on Raw, so he's not going to be eligible for cruiserweight division because he's on SmackDown. But yeah, but James Storm, he is not ranked as a cruiserweight, of course, so yeah, if he does defeat Seth Rollins, that is a major opportunity for Storm, since Rollins, he is definitely red hot here. He defends the cruiserweight title against Rey Mysterio at the SummerSlam pre-show. That is SmackDown's pre-show matchup, as both Raw, ECW, and SmackDown respectively have one pre-show matchup for SummerSlam. Rollins, he represents SmackDown against Rey Mysterio in the Cruiserweight Championship. Rey could very well walk out the Cruiserweight Champion when the night's over. Rollins, he has successfully defended against Pete Dunne. Of course, after the matchup, Pete Dunne was later then released from SmackDown to NXT, along with some other ECW and Raw superstars and some other SmackDown superstars themselves. Some ones from ECW include Lars Sullivan and Pentagon Dark, while some from Raw include Gangrel and Tyson Kidd. Just a couple that are now currently in NXT, because, the roster slots, we need to make it a little bit more manageable. Tag team-wise, male wrestler-wise, well, and the women's rosters, they're perfectly fine on each brand, no complaints about that. Anyway, now, James Storm trying to create the separation off small package super kick by Rollins, and now Rollins off the top somewhat nails the front drop kick. It's like it was more like a falling headbutt to Storm, and now Storm, not happy about that. James Storm, of course, the cowboy James Storm nails the drop kick. Rollins, it's like he wasn't even fazed by that. Storm, if he does pick up a victory, definitely a whole lot of good momentum. While Rollins is Cruiserweight Champion, still. Rollins, he's red hot. He might as well be called Red Hot Rollins here for SmackDown, because Rollins, he's doing very well for himself for these past couple of weeks, going into months, if you really want to consider, since week 9, or since the tournament originally began, stuff like that, which, so that'll be like week 7 or something like that, week 8, then yeah, Rollins, he's definitely been doing well after his whole rivalry with Kota Ibushi that lasted from week 1 all the way to week 5 or 6 Ibushi did get the last laugh apparently, but until it was the cruiserweight tournament semifinals where Rollins defeated Ibushi, and then Rollins really got the last laugh once the rivalry was fully over. So a couple nice history lessons there. Rollins with the front dropkick off the top rope again. Storm not doing too well for himself in this matchup, trying to get back into it. But Rollins now, well, Storm quickly kicking out down. He probably had rope break though, and now takes down Rollins. Red Hot Rollins here. Of course, Rollins, the only cruiserweight champion. He's been the first cruiserweight champion and the only cruiserweight champion. Same like, well, Ricochet. He won the cruiserweight. No, the cruiserweight. The X Division title tournament for Raw. He's been champion ever since then, which was like week 8, along with Neville winning the lightweight title tournament back in like, I don't know, week 7, week 8. I don't know when he won it. He's been champion ever since then until, well, the latest episode of ECW. If you guys haven't watched that, might as well do, because I kind of just already spoiled it, but, you know, I'm not going to say who won the lightweight title, though. Anyway, now Rollins sends James Storm through the steel steps, and Phoenix Splash off the top rope by Rollins. That's actually a nice spot. And now Rollins just throws him down. Just a fallen step-through neckbreaker by Seth Rollins, and the Cruiserweight Champion, Seth Rollins, picks up a victory. Red Hot Rollins, ladies and gentlemen, here on Smackdown. And, well, ladies and gentlemen, speaking of Smackdown, Cruiserweight Champion Seth Rollins, he defends the Cruiserweight title in SmackDown's pre-show matchup against Rey Mysterio at the SummerSlam pre-show, so definitely look forward to that. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, for the SmackDown episode, which is up next and will be a separate video, main event, a 20-minute Iron Man match as both number 1 contenders, the King of the Ring winner, Cesaro, he takes on number 1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship, Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler, he's had many opportunities for the World title. He lost in week 6. He's lost also in the Bound for Glory pay-per-view. But now, ladies and gentlemen, he uses his rematch clause for a final time in a triple threat against the King of the Ring winner, Cesaro, and still World Heavyweight Champion, the first ever World Heavyweight Champion, and still World Heavyweight Champion since then, Aleister Black, who, may I remind you, won that title back in week 6 at the No Surrender pay-per-view. So, ladies and gentlemen, that should definitely be good. 20-minute Iron Man match, and this is somewhat of a rematch from week 9 of SmackDown, I believe, where we did have, this was before Cesaro actually was in the Money in the Bank qualifier, because he lost that, of course. Well, he lost the Money in the Bank ladder match. So this was weeks before any of that. And Ziggler, well, he still had the title opportunity. Ones who were in the title picture was Aleister Black, Ryback, Ziggler, and Kevin Owens. But of course, Owens there then got injured by Black. So it turned into a triple threat at the No Surrender pay-per-view. But at week 9, well, Ziggler, he was able to pick up a big victory against Cesaro. Will it be vice versa, since now Cesaro is King of the Ring? Winning King of the Ring equals you main event SummerSlam with a world title opportunity in your brand. Cesaro was on SmackDown. He won King of the Ring for SmackDown, so he main events SummerSlam. So there you go. That was a long explanation here. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in SmackDown Week 20. Goodbye.